Members of the company, this is your Places call. Places, please. Places for the top of the podcast. Places, please.
Get ready for a behind-the-scenes look at the glitz and not-so-glam of Broadway, education, and everyday life with Uncommon Sense. Join hosts Christopher Smith and Sharna Lopez as they bring you the best stories and shenanigans that seemingly prove how elusive common sense can really be. So take a little time for yourself to hang out with the dynamic duo Charnopher. And no leaving early, because you might just miss that 11 o'clock number.
Stand by music. Music, go.
Uncommon sense, the 11 o'clock number.
And we are Charnopher.
Hi, everyone. Hello and welcome.
That was great. Sharna was
to
not
Uncommon
prepared.
Sense.
Sharna was not prepared.
I wasn't. I'm usually quite prepared, but today I was not. And we also have a really fun guest today, so we were kind of giggling right
We
beforehand.
We just spent all evening with her, actually.
We did.
Yeah,
which
it
was
was
fun.
super
It
fun.
was like we spend a lot of evenings with her, so
Right.
it's not like
These days, that's so true.
nowadays. Should I introduce our guest?
Sure, do it.
You know what? I do want to introduce her because, well, I think it's funny. We mentioned after one of our last episodes, Christopher and I were talking about how we keep saying, "Oh, we have to have this person on. We have to have this
Right.
person on." Every time I say her name, it's like, "Oh, we gotta make sure we have her on," and I
Yeah.
explain who she is. So you have all probably heard the name Maddie Young several times, but Maddie BeAnne Young is her full name. Madeline BeAnne Young is her full name.
Full naming
She's
it.
finally here after, I don't know, multiple episodes of me being like, "Oh, and Maddie." Oh, and Maddie, this, guys.
Right. Yeah.
So, Maddie Young is with us today. Welcome, Maddie. Thank you for joining us.
Hello.
After
Hello.
after long rehearsal, we just
Hello.
had a rehearsal. Maddie's choreographing Something Rotten, and I'm directing with Parker, Maddie's brother, who will soon be on the show, and then Christopher's musical directing. So
That's
we had a
right.
nice rehearsal, and now we're just gonna have a good little
time.
episode with
chat.
Maddie,
A little
with the
chat.
chat, with the chat.
Yeah.
Do you want to jump in, Christopher, with
Yeah.
where you want me to start?
We can all just hop around.
Okay.
I think I just want you to start at the very beginning. Like,
It's a
when
very
were you
good
born?
place to
No.
start. Name the show.
Sound of Music.
Maddie was like, "Huh?" She was ready
From the very beginning, May 16th, 1996, I actually was born, and my doctor said, "She has long legs. She's going to be a dancer." Like, no joke. That happened. Now I have short legs and a long torso, but I still am a dancer. So it worked out no matter what.
I guess the doctor was right. Either way,
Either way,
like,
he chanced
knew.
it, and he chanced correctly.
And Maddie
Well-
Maddie is a dancer. I didn't meet Maddie until she was probably what,
It was
8 or 9?
I was 8, I think.
Yeah. But when did you start dancing?
I started dancing when I was 2.5, 3, and I went to the studio that was very competitive, and my mom still remembers the time where they almost kicked me out of a dance because I didn't know my choreography as a 3-year-old. I was like a little in the nutcracker. I was a mouse or something, and I didn't know my choreography, and I almost was kicked out of a dance.
Get it together, 3-year-olds. Come on.
I know.
Yeah.
Mouse number 5. What are you
And,
doing?
Yeah, seriously. But I survived that, and I was dancing. I've been dancing since I was 3, I would say.
And then I met her in dance at the music room where I taught for years in Orange, which Maddie now teaches there, which I love. But I just remember her being one of those students where you're like, "Oh, you can do this." You know, like I
Oh.
love teaching kids, especially at a beginning age, intermediate age, where you're like, "Cool, this group of students is like, they love this and they're having so much fun. Never gonna be a dancer. Totally cool with me." And then you have the other group of students where you're like, "Okay, there's like something different there." And that was Maddie from like day one for me.
I
in class.
really thought you were going to be, because I was annoying. I was the class clown, and I pulled all the shenanigans. I always knew my steps, but I pulled all the shenanigans, and I made class fun. But I thought you were going there. I was like, remember that time I put balloons in everybody's shirts so that way we could be pregnant, just like Charnopher for her class?
So when I was pregnant with Sebastian, I taught tap up until like 2 weeks before he was born. So I was like full pregnant belly in class. And I think it was my last day that Maddie went out and she had all the kids put balloons under their stomachs and like come back in and be pregnant. I have a picture. I wish I could find, you know what? I'm going to find that picture.
It's hysterical.
It's super funny. I'm sure your mom has it, Maddie. But I will say Maddie was so cute. And I don't want to be like, she liked me so much, but she liked my class so much that she never wanted to move to the next level.
No,
so
I was so sad when they made me move. And I said, I really don't think you have the right person. They were like, there's only one Maddie here. I was like, oh.
For like 3 years. And I was like, Maddie, we have to go now, my love. You can be my TA.
I think I was like on the tap team too, still wanting to take. They were like, you're on the tap team, Maddie. And I said, I really don't think I am. I'm in Sharna's class.
Yeah, it was super fun. I loved teaching her when she was younger. And then even through high school, she did theater at Music Room, and we did a bunch of shows. And
we did.
We did.
What were some of your favorite shows that you did in high school?
In high school?
Yeah, or like during that time.
Oh, golly. Okay, well.
The Music Room.
At the Music Room, one of my favorite things is when we did Fiddler on the Roof, and I got to dress up full guy. Mustache, wig. I was a bottle dancer. What was my name? Model? Is that a character?
No, well, he's like a character. I don't think you were him.
Yeah, because I had lines. I had lines.
You did it.
No, I fully had lines. I literally
lines.
remember having lines, and I
don't know. We'll have to ask your brother. I'm sure he'll remember. We're gonna find that picture too. I'm so excited to post these on our Instagram.
So many photos.
You need to check it out. I'm gonna find both of those photos because I know they exist, and we're gonna, especially the one from Fiddler.
Oh gosh,
and she looks like her brother. So you'd see the picture.
I
and
loved it.
Think she was her brother.
That's hilarious.
Was one of my favorites. And then another one. It was when you just had Maggie too. When Maggie was Sally, and I was Snoopy. Yeah. And there's a part. What is the song? It's the we're chasing rabbits, and we had no idea when we needed to enter for a certain part in the song, and we would just be with each other backstage, and we're like, does now sound good? And we'd go, now sounds great. And we would just go on stage full force, her and I, just like, we're chasing rabbits. And then we would run off stage. And it's still to this, like, we talk about it all the time. It's still one of my favorite memories with her.
It was a fun show for sure. I think all the roles in that show, like you playing Snoopy. When you get a good Snoopy who can dance, a supper time is so fun.
So fun.
Yeah.
So what I've learned about Maggie is she likes to come on stage at any time. Do you remember, Sharna? What was the other show that she came on like 5 times?
Yeah, Sideshow. When she was making all those entrances, like totally. But, and I pointed this out when we interviewed Maddie, and you'll recall, because Maddie at that time was actually in the audience with me.
Yes.
And so we were watching it, and it's like, you could not, and I know this is like repetitive, but as full out as a full out could be, like 300% re-entering. I would take it. I will take it too.
Every single
Strong
show.
and Rock, man. But yeah, she'll do that. And
well,
you
also
guys,
preferably
Maggie,
Strong and Right.
also fine. But they did a bunch of shows together growing up, which was really fun. Having that group of kids. Parker was in that group. A couple other really strong performers.
It literally was so fun. We learned so much during that. I mean, as you do, but. Yeah. We just had fun while we learned it too.
As one does.
And then after high school, Maddie, where did your journey take you then?
Oh, I went to a junior college. So I had no idea. Here's the thing about me. I had no idea like that college applications were a thing. I had no idea.
Okay, what? Hold on.
No, let me go on this journey. Go on this journey with me.
Okay.
I was just a nice little senior year high schooler, right? And all of a sudden my friends are like, yeah, I've been wanting to go to Yale University since I was 5 years old. I said, what's a Yale? I didn't know that people like have colleges that you go travel to and interview basically to see where you wanted to go. And it just didn't cross my mind to apply for colleges.
Wow. Okay, but along
Does that explain a lot?
I mean, I guess it feels a little on brand, but also like because you're not like the oldest person in your family. Where was everybody else in your family
I
going?
think they just were like,
where's Matt? Like,
she's going to a junior college. My mom was like, she's going there. She needs
So there you go.
some help there.
I'm going to let you finish your journey, but seeing you now and watching you go through that journey, I think it was definitely the right choice for you.
100% was the right choice. So I went to a junior college and I did the dance program there for 2 years. And then I went into the musical theater program there. And I think it was good because I was kind of starting to lose my I don't want to say lose my passion for those things, but I didn't believe that I could do that as a career. As a lot of people, they think that they're like, oh, I'm not good enough or whatever it is. I just was like, I don't see it. I don't feel like I can make that a career. And then my mom was like, just take a dance class. And luckily she made me take that. I think it was a hip hop class. Then I met the hip hop teacher and I got involved with the dance team there that, traveled around to different places. And I fell in love with choreographing again. And then I went into the musical theater program and I was like, oh, wait, I really do like to dance in musicals a lot. And I had a great group of people that when college application season came out, they were like, hey, this is what college applications are.
and welcome.
Well, and even with musical theater or any kind of theater, that's a whole different world in itself for colleges. So I was really lucky to have people to help me go through that because I thought I didn't know what just normal college applications were. Boy, did I not even know what like theater college applications were. So that was a lot. But I just want to do it. And I took a chance and I was like, let me just like see if there's any schools I like and who will accept me. And then I got into Heart and I had never been there, but I really liked the people when I auditioned for them. And I said, I'm going across the country now.
There you go.
So, yeah.
So where did you go to the JC? Which local college did you go to?
Fullerton.
What was your experience like there?
It was a lot of learning.
In what way?
In the professional way.
Okay.
So
I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Yeah. So with dance, especially, I did competition dance growing up. And that is a whole nother world in itself, which we will need 2 hours to talk about that.
And we might.
And with college dancing, it was not about, how to explain it? It was about your exploration with your choreography.
Okay.
And you got to choose you got to choreograph about what you cared about, what you loved to do. And the people that I got to dance with, I've never met harder workers in my entire life. And it just, you would wake up, you go to dance class, and we would have blisters on our feet, we would have bruises all over our bodies, we would be so exhausted, but we would have 2 Red Bulls, and we would eat some crackers and have some cheese and hard-boiled eggs, and we would just dance together.
Yeah.
And it was like it was a community thing, and everybody in that room had a certain passion to entertain, or not even entertain, just explore the way our brains and our creativity can work together. So that's I learned a lot from trusting like your community. And then with musical theater, I definitely I knew a lot of basics for musical theater, but I mean, I learned even more basics on how to audition well, how to create an audition book, on what cuts to choose and everything. And I think the more you can surround yourself with different personalities, the better off you are as a person with collaborating with people.
I think too, Maddie, I love that. I don't ever think I've heard you like talk about it, but I was like around you through that journey. So I saw that from the outside perspective, you know what I mean? Knowing you and then like watching you dance and grow up dancing. But then I remember going to your first concert at Fullerton and being like, whoa, this is like a whole different style of dance. And maybe not even style. There was still some stuff like styles that you had done before, but watching you perform, it was different. There was a different energy with the people. And again, I think that like ownership over what you were doing, instead of going in, 20 hours a week and being like, drill, 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 I'm your teacher, do your competition. It was much more of like an expression.
Mm-hmm.
And you could see that in the performance side of it for sure. Yeah. I mean, I saw that firsthand.
Yeah. It was, I don't know, we had fun too.
Yeah.
It was just,
Yeah. You had some great friends in
we
that
had great-
group.
yeah.
And I
Cool
think,
people.
and I love that you took your time there and you experienced what you wanted to experience before
Mhm.
you decided to go to Heart and then go through that program. And I think it was a good, I don't know, I love your story because I feel like it's sometimes maybe not like the path everyone would be like, this is my path.
Mhm.
And yet it was the perfect path for you. And I think that sometimes people who are leaving high school need to hear that. It doesn't have to
Mhm.
be one way. There's 92 different ways to get to,
Mhm. And
things.
what I talk to my vocal coach all the time at Heart, because we would talk about my path constantly and how I was older and everything, and people don't realize your brain matures and you learn to be a better human.
Mhm.
And as can all be really great people, but high school is a completely different world. And when you leave high school and you have kind of that time, a lot of people have to learn to grow up when they're in college. I was able to grow up outside of that world and then go into it, which I think set me up for more success. Whether I was more disciplined with myself, I was more kind to myself mentally and physically. I was able to connect with more people than I don't think I would. I was too shy I'm still shy, but like I wouldn't have put myself out there when I went to college as much as I did, or challenge myself, or
Yeah.
I felt way more secure with myself. And that's me. Some people are really secure
Yeah.
when they leave college, or I know.
Don't break it. Don't break
when
it.
they leave high school and everything, but I know there are some people who feel like they have to be forced into college and they don't feel ready. And I always tell those people, I'm like, just listen to what you want to do, and I promise you life will take you where you need to go.
And I think that's why a lot of people like graduate school.
Mhm.
And I think that's why a lot of people like when they finally get into the workforce as well, because you have matured and you have kind of reached that point to where all of those things you just said, that was going to be my next question. What was it like? You kind of answered it, but maybe you have some other insight being older. Like you were there with 18,
Mm-hmm.
19, 20-year-olds, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How was that? Did you end up having to like be the mom, or were you just like
No,
grow up?
I'm
No.
super silly goofy. So I was very silly goofy. There was a lot of moments where and I always say this, like, the gossiping and the whole, still in kind of the high school phase of stuff.
Yeah.
Where the drama, we all partake in it. I do love gossip, I will say. I love the drama and everything. But then I really liked, and I had a really awesome friend, Alex, she mentally just helped me like stay more secure and center with myself some of those times. But there were moments where I was like, wait, this is really silly. Like,
Yeah.
why are we doing that? Why am I focusing on this? And I don't think I would have thought, as an 18-year-old Maddie, I would have just continued to like spiral and everything. But as a 22-year-old, I was able to be like, oh, okay, I'm not here to do this. I'm not here to do that. Some moments I failed at that because I do love drama and everything, as one does. You get into
we
it.
all do.
We
We're
all do.
theater people here.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But I will agree, I knew myself more. So I was able to make decisions that benefited me a whole bunch that I wouldn't have known when I was
Yeah.
18 years old.
I think that's a wonderful way to go into college. I think as a parent, I don't know. I think that's a lot of a parent's fear at 18, maybe knowing their kid a little better. Like,
In a
oh,
way.
I don't know how you're going to do this.
Yeah.
And you see a lot of kids that try and then it's too much for them and they come back.
Mhm.
And it's kind of nice that you got to have that experience a little bit older.
Yeah.
I will say, Christopher, do you have any more questions about her college experience or
College, not necessarily, but I did want to go back a little bit. She said she was shy, which
Yeah.
hold on. I met Maddie a few years ago, not too many years ago. And I just have to say that surprises me that you say that.
Okay, hold on. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm an interrupter, as we all know. And Christopher said that very politely, almost.
Almost. We were close. We were
But
like
I'm going
polite
to-
adjacent.
I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to agree with you, Christopher. And still to this day, when I hear her mom talk about when she was little, and we're very good family friends, so we hear a lot of stories. I'm the same way because I just went to Vegas with this girl, I don't know, a couple months ago, and I'm like,
I was
would
everybody's
not
friend.
put shy into any sentence. But again, when she's around people she's very comfortable with or whatnot. But yeah, I mean, you want to talk about your shyness a little bit, Maddie, from when you were younger?
I am a very shy person. I have terrible social anxiety. I'm always scared about how I present, how I look, that's probably why if you ever meet me, I'm so this big person and everything, is because I'm just challenging myself and I'm pushing myself to break away from that, because you both know me. I love a good challenge, and I never want to like limit myself as just like the shy person. Like I am shy. I will be if I have a new experience or I have to go into a store where I'm by myself, I sit in the car. I'm like, okay, so you're going to go in and all you're going to do is just ask for a sandwich. And I look up the menu and I go, okay, so you don't want the onions, although I want the onions, but it's like you want the extra onions and you want the extra, like I have to have a plan.
It all out.
But then I go into the store and I have to remind myself, why? Just be a good person. Just be a nice human being. So it's, yes, if you
I think it's a great, I don't know, I love it. I feel like it's like such a cool story because, again, Christopher, I didn't know that. And I remember Kim is Maddie's mom telling me how she didn't even really talk.
No, I had to have a speech therapist.
She had a speech therapist, and then she didn't really talk. And then even in kindergarten, like her brother would have to walk her to the classroom and like deliver her and be like, okay, and like kind of speak for her. And then even when you were younger and I knew you, I remember your mom being like, oh yeah, Maddie can't go ask for ranch or whatever. I'm like, why can't she ask for ranch in the restaurant? What? Like, because I'd never seen that side of her. And I love your explanation of it. And I love that you have this like awareness of, okay, I know that's who I am. And I know it's something that is a challenge for me. So I've seen it firsthand. I'm going to tell our Vegas story. Not this last one.
I was like, there's a lot of Vegas stories, so you got.
No, this is like the PG Vegas story. So several years ago, my mom had a timeshare in Vegas, and she's like, hey, do you want to bring the kids and we'll do a weekend in Vegas? And I was like, can I bring Maddie? I need another friend to help take care of my kids. And she's like, yeah. So Maddie road trips with us, and we're out there. It was so fun, but it was like a little family weekend. And we're like out there and I'm like, oh, Maddie, let's like sneak away. We'll leave the kids with my mom for a minute. You want to go on the roller coaster at New York? She's like, yeah, let's go. So we get there, we wait in line.
It's a fun roller coaster.
Okay, we get on and we like get in. I love roller coasters.
Me too.
And we get, Christopher, have you been on that one?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so Chris, I forget you're a Vegas person too. So we get on the roller coaster and she's like, yeah. And we start going up the very first really, really huge climb.
It's pretty tall.
And she looks over at me and she's like, do you know that I'm deathly afraid of heights? And I was like, what? I thought I like misheard her. And then she's like, I was like, okay. We need to unpack this when we get off the roller coaster. So we were cracking up, like laughing so hard. But again, that was a perfect example of her like, I'm just going to conquer this fear. I'm just going to like do it, And
you should do it.
It's crazy. And I think that is kind of what you do then with your shyness, because I would say most people that meet you, unless they get to really know you or hear stories, would not categorize you as shy. So you did a pretty good job.
Or I'm like, what do they call it? Extroverted, introverted?
An extroverted introvert.
Yeah. I'm very much that. But I do have moments. Yes, I get.
Do you have moments?
I have I just have moments.
And she said it so calmly, not like, I shouldn't. She's like, did you know that I'm definitely afraid of heights? And I was like,
but I know. You know who I get that kind of mentality from, and I love her, is Dolly Parton.
Yes.
Dolly Parton is someone who I truly look up to, because she's like, why limit yourself?
Yeah.
Do the thing you're scared of doing, and just show, why should you limit yourself and be able not to do something just because you're scared of it? She's like, no, I'm going to do anything I possibly can. So anytime I'm scared of something, I'm like, wait, why limit yourself? Think of Dolly Parton.
Yeah.
I'm
but
like,
that's
why?
great.
And if it's a fail, it's a fail, and you learn and whatever. But like, I don't.
And I think it's a good example, Maddie. I mean, you're a great example to my kids. You constantly have that. Like my daughter is similar, where she's like, and it's this very like, what could happen? And I think you're like that when you teach too, which is going to be look at my little segue.
I love a
Because
segue.
I
Segue.
think I've known Maddie for a long time, and watching her teach, she's a teacher now. She teaches in several places and has
Lots.
choreographed a bunch. But I know, I hope, and I still think you'll perform. I know you will, but like you're meant to be a teacher. I love watching you teach. I love watching you with kids. I sit there and I'm like, oh my gosh, like magical, magical. And I think that attitude, it permeates into your room of like, just try it. Who cares? You know, because these students oftentimes, especially if they're coming into something brand new that they've never done, it is scary. And having that energy come from their teacher of like, oh, just do it, make a fool of yourself. Like everyone here is cool. It's such a nice feeling for those kids to have. And it just creates a better environment in the classroom. I think you do that really, really well.
Well, that's like one of my main things that I always try and tell my students. I was like, and I learned this actually from college, and it was a huge epiphany for me. Why be like everybody else? There's like 2,500 billion everybody else. And look at the people who we look up to the most. They're always different.
Yep.
Those people are always different. And, you know, it's not about fame or anything of all of this, but we love the people who are different because it makes them so interesting. And I spent a lot of my life trying to fit myself in a little box and hide the things that like made me unique or made me what I thought was weird. And I just try to tell students that like there's no weird. And even if you do think it's weird, it probably it's super interesting to us as a human.
Yeah.
And I just don't like the thought that we're hiding a lot of these students' uniqueness. I'd rather showcase that for them, or just have like a space for them to explore it at least.
And that's why I love, like, I think it takes a lot to teach younger or beginner.
Yes.
I love
Some of
younger
us-
and beginner.
And I know, and I love watching you teach them.
I'm sorry.
And I think I loved it for a while. What happened?
He's laughing at me because I
Not
just
laughing at you. I'm
Oh.
laughing at myself because I was about to be like, some of us don't love that quite as much as others. But I'm
and I
so
like had such
glad
a
that
reaction.
you love it.
And I think it's just like a testament that everybody kind of has their area that they like, and especially like age groups, but also levels. And I think teaching, and maybe it's because if you haven't learned this about me, I'm not a very patient person.
Okay, what?
Christopher
This
and I
is
know
brand
you.
new information.
But your patience, I think, with younger kids and just your energy is fun. And I think it's hard to teach beginning anything really, but you have such a knack for it with young people, and I love it. I love watching you do it.
I just love it because
know you
it's
do.
what can I don't know, even if we're step touching, let's step touch and have the time of our life. Like
And maybe
We're
it's
just-
different for dance because, like, on piano, I'm like, just play the C. Just play the C.
dude,
That's
you
all.
would not want me in your piano class.
But you know what?
Did
I
not do
also
the
like a
best.
challenge, so maybe I would.
Actually,
Maybe I would like you in my
I
piano
need
class.
to relearn. I was supposed to take it. I mean, I did take it in college, but that was the year life happened, and then it was all online. And
Coco-Ro-Ro.
I
I'm
sing-
sensing a private lesson coming soon, maybe.
Coming
a Maddie
soon.
Christopher
he's gonna
moment.
spend 5 minutes with me, and I'll be like, I don't know.
It's like I take it back.
No, but
It's
I'm
like-
gonna. I'm up for the challenge. I'm doing
Great.
it. I'm gonna figure out how to play
Oh.
piano. I like it.
Okay,
I
I'm
love
gonna
that.
ask you. We've asked everybody this, especially anyone who's in the performing or theater worlds.
I'm not ready for
Um,
that decisions. Oh gosh.
No, and I think you and I maybe have already had these conversations
Okay.
several times.
Okay.
But if there were roles or a role or show in
Oh.
particular, see, she already knows that you would like just kill to do, what would it be?
Estrada and Pippin.
Yeah.
Helen in, although I don't know if that's her name, but in she sings the hot dog song
Oh yeah,
in
Mhm.
Bulls Over Broadway.
Yep.
I would
Mm.
love that role. What's her chops in
what's your job?
in the one when you got it flaunt it? What's her chops? What's her name?
Oh, Ula
Ula. I would love
in the
to play
producers.
Ula.
Oh,
Yes.
that would be a great role
I
for
would
you.
love
Yeah.
to do Ula.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many. On the Town, I would love to play Heidi.
Yeah.
I mean, off the top of my head, those
Fistrata
are probably
would be
it.
super fun
Fistrata
right
is
now.
like has been one of my dream
That's your top.
roles.
Yo,
Fistrata.
the top.
Fistrata. I just want to do Spread a Little Sunshine, and then at the end, like smack the floor and do a giant hinge
The
back.
cool thing about
just like
that role,
Charlotte.
you could play that for years.
Oh,
You know,
love
like
it.
that's one of those roles that it's kind of a pretty wide age range for that role.
I love it. It's
know,
one of
right?
my dreams.
That's so
Yeah.
fun.
So I'm going to say one of my takeaways
yeah.
from so far
Yes.
is try something new. Go order the ranch. Go ask for extra ranch.
Yeah, do it.
Do
Ask
it.
for the extra ranch. Oh, which reminds me, my brother used to give me the hardest time because me, Mr. Do everything my way, have no problem making people like, hello, give me the extra things. Apparently, I had a thing with asking for extra sauces, like at Del Taco. I mean, like,
Okay.
give me some more sauce. And I guess I wouldn't do it. I didn't notice this about me. And Jonathan's like, why is it so difficult for you to just ask for extra sauces? I'm like, that's so weird. I don't know. So I'm going to
Wait, what do
be
you mean? Like
mindful.
you would order Del
like
Taco
we would be at the drive-thru and we never get enough sauce because they never give you enough sauce.
and then you're mad.
And then I'm mad. And Jonathan's mad because he's like, we don't have enough sauce and you didn't ask for extra. Why didn't you just ask for extra sauce? And I'm like, I don't
Here's
know.
the
I
fire.
just, it's my
Now
weird
you'd
thing.
be like, "Where's my cookie?
Right?
I need a cookie
Ding
warmed."
dong. Starbucks.
Oh man.
We love Starbucks.
So
We do.
funny.
This episode
Sometimes-
is not sponsored by Starbucks. However,
But it could be.
It could be.
However,
I mean,
you need to
we
get
drink
on
a lot
it.
of Starbucks collectively.
Collectively.
we do.
Yes, we do.
What else, Christopher? Do you have other questions for Maddie BeAnne?
don't think so. I thought of one earlier, but long gone.
It's
It's
tough.
like
we went through
escaped
so many
the skull.
levels, so many paths already.
I have one more question. Would you, and maybe you don't know the answer right now. Would you want, I know you still want to perform and I know you like teaching.
Mhm.
If you could, and maybe this is just a yes or no, would you want to do that forever? Like if you could perform and teach choreograph, is that kind of like an end all be all for you? Is there another goal or something else that you'd like to accomplish
I-
career wise?
Don't plan. Everything in my life has just, well, I don't want to say it's just happened. I've worked really hard for
Yeah.
a lot of my success, which I used to always, or not always, but coming back from college and the success I've gotten here, I was kind of downplaying it because when a lot of times when you're leaving BFAs, they emphasize a lot of the performance side of things and whether you make it big as a performer. And so when I was teaching, I was downplaying a lot of my success when I'm pretty successful as a teacher and a choreographer, especially within a year of graduating. So kind of to go back, that's a segue to say always claim your success and be proud of your work and your hard work. But I don't know. I would love to do. I think a big goal of mine is to find someone rich to marry and then build a theater. Like no joke.
Yes.
Like build a theater. I
Yes.
think that's probably my biggest goal. But I don't like to live in myself. So right now I love the choreographing gig. I love the teaching gig. I'm meeting amazing people. I'm getting to do what I love to do. I would love to dip into the performance side of things more this year, self-tapes, all of that, and get into that business. But then if something comes my way where I have to travel somewhere, I don't ever want to like say no to that or feel like I need to say no because I don't want to feel stuck.
Totally.
If that makes sense.
Totally. That's a great answer.
Yeah. So
However, if there's any eligible, well-to-do bachelors out there, please contact us. We will pass your information along.
Set you up.
I like tall and brunettes.
Okay. Good to know.
Who can ask
Send
for ranch.
headshots
Who can ask
and
for ranch? Who likes to dance on the dance floor?
Yeah, that's a must with Maddie,
that's
y'all.
a
Maddie has
big
dance floor
must.
moves.
Please.
do you want to just
come
put
our
like
way.
a list together that I can attach to the episode,
Tall,
or
brunette, dance, loves
is.
disco,
Ask for ranch.
ask for ranch.
has cash, lots of it,
Who doesn't like pickles? So then that way I can
Oh.
always
Oh.
eat the pickle
Oh.
from the restaurant.
or is at
She-
least willing to give you the pickles.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah, maybe that's more important.
Willingness to
to share
Surrender.
the pickles.
You know what else is one of Maddie's
Surrender.
amazing talents?
What?
She makes the best charcuterie boards.
What?
Dude.
Like
Okay.
legit.
So
I'm
my
gonna demand that a charcuterie board appear
run throughs. I could bring it in run throughs.
for run-throughs with the sippy cup.
She always has something like I've had a million of her charcuterie boards at her
That's really my
house,
trick.
and every time I'm like, "What is this?" She always has like something fun and new on there, and I'm so excited about
The
it.
trick, my friends, is go to your local Trader Joe's. This is also sponsored by Trader Joe's, correct? And browse. Spend some time. Don't feel rushed.
Okay.
Don't feel rushed. Just browse and be like, that looks interesting. Let's try it.
Yes.
Don't go for your usual stuff. Go for the stuff that looks a little interesting. I mean, get your usual stuff as well, so that way if the interesting thing turns out bad, you
That's
can.
true. Sometimes when
You
she's
have
making
a
it, she's like,
you have a plan B.
I don't know, but it's always so good, Maddie.
No,
Yes, it is.
really
It's
do
a
like
hidden
it.
talent.
I
of
like
her.
it.
Maddie, would you do like a how-to video for us on a charcuterie, like the next
Like
time
I'll
you
follow
do
you
Yes,
through Trader Joe's.
I know actually how to make like the salami into a rose.
Okay, we're gonna need the video
Yeah, we can do
of
it.
that, the how-to.
Just thought I'd throw that out there.
What is
for
that
anyone
called?
who's
It's not called a
interested.
how-to video. What is it called? There's like better names
DIY,
for
a
it.
tutorial, not a
Maybe
DIY.
a tutorial.
Here's
Maybe that's
how
the
to
word I'm
do
looking
your
for.
own,
Do your own
charcuterie board,
charcuterie?
Yeah,
a tutorial.
I like it.
Cool.
I like it.
I like it.
Well, on
Yeah, I
that
like
note,
it. We should have had like little mini charcuteries that we could have been.
Oh, dang.
eating
Although
next
time.
that's like ASMR then at that
Yeah.
moment. That's a whole
Yeah.
different kind of
it's a
podcast.
whole
Sure.
situation.
That's another episode.
Right.
We'll have tap shoot. We'll be tapping and eating charcuterie.
Oh my gosh.
Oh
All
my
right. Well,
gosh.
Maddie, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. Now that we've spoken about Maddie on several episodes, you finally got to meet her
Yes.
and hear from
That's
her.
fun.
And
I like
Christopher,
it.
you wanna sign us
Send
out?
us out. All right, here we go. All right, follow us on Instagram at Charnopher Official. Like and subscribe on YouTube. Check us out on uncommonpod.com. All the info and the deets are there. Don't laugh at me, Sharna. I see you. I see you. I hear you.
I'm
I
having
feel
a really
the
good
silent
time
laugh.
just looking at the.
Oh, okay. Well, all that to say, thanks, Maddie, for joining us. And
Thank you.
And on that note,
Charnopher
Charnopher out.
Oh my gosh, your scooter. I feel like I'm gonna
Why
adopt
is
that.
hers cuter than ours?
This concludes another episode of Uncommon Sense. If you're ready for more of this fresh, hilarious, and unique perspective on the world of entertainment, education, and life, be sure to subscribe right now to catch every episode. If you gasped, laughed out loud, or even snorted, share the show with your friends and aspiring entertainers because, let's be real, sharing is caring. For more Charnopher, tune in to their witty insights by checking out the website uncommonpod.com or connecting on social media. Tune in next week and get the real insider scoop on another episode of Uncommon Sense.